Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hey guys, we're your hosts, M and J, and today we wanted to take a look at the tie-in comic for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as well as share our thoughts on the upcoming movie. We're really excited for this movie, especially since they're diving into the wider Sonic the Hedgehog universe, like Tails, Knuckles, and the Chaos Emeralds. On top of that, they're talking about creating a whole cinematic universe for Sonic, which I'm really looking forward to, because outside of Marvel, cinematic universes have been struggling, but they took the time to listen to the fans, and actual fans are involved in the production of these movies, so it looks like they're in good hands, and they're fleshing things out with supplementary material like this tie-in comic. It contains 5 short stories following different characters and their lead up into the second movie. Like we see in the film, Agent Stone is working in a coffee shop, so the comic shows him getting the job there, and eventually he takes over. We also see Knuckles and Tails tracking Sonic, along with Eggman dealing with the Mushroom Planet, and it shows Sonic trying to be a superhero and figure out his superhero identity. He still has a lot to learn, but I do hope they eventually call him the Blue Blur. It'd be a nice reference. The first story starts with Sonic locked in a bank vault, before flashing back to show how he ended up in this mess. Tom and Deputy Wade are going on an ice fishing vacation to Washington State, and Sonic doesn't want to go for obvious reasons. However, he's also bored at home, but he hears about a bank robbery in the same location of their ice fishing trip, which is pretty convenient, but Sonic zips out there to do something about it. The goons were hired by Agent Stone to retrieve Eggman's tech, which is apparently in a safety deposit box in this bank. I'm not sure why he's keeping his tech in a safety deposit box. You'd think he'd have his own safe tucked away somewhere. Sonic tries to comfort one of the bank hostages, but it turns out this lady is actually working with the goons, and she locks him in the vault, which brings us back to the beginning of the comic. The goons decide that Eggman's tech is too cool for them to give up, so they decide to take it for themselves and forget about Agent Stone. So the goons use the tech to lift the entire vault out of the bank with Sonic inside. Sonic thinks on his feet, for the record Jay wrote that line, and causes the vault to spin, which ends up snapping the cables, which does free him, but it also causes a lot of collateral damage. Sonic beats up the goons and they all get arrested, and he's able to leave without Tom finding out he was there, which he wasn't supposed to be, and he would have gotten in trouble if he was caught. Although I'm not sure how he's gonna keep Tom from hearing about this. He wasn't exactly stealthy, and he talked to pretty much everyone in the bank. I imagine there's going to be some rumors going around about this Blue Justice. Unfortunately, it looks like Agent Stone is able to activate the tech remotely now that it's out of the bank, so he gets the tech in the end. It transitions into the next story, which follows Agent Stone. He's pretty radicalized by Robotnik, reading his manifesto and following it to the letter. Robotnik basically wants to rewrite society to fit his own ideals, so he tasks Agent Stone with infiltrating society to rewrite it from the inside, and he does this by getting a job at a local coffee shop, and over the course of a week he takes it over by getting rid of everybody there, like sabotaging one of his co-workers' cars. She asked him to take her weekend shift so she could go to a family function, but it looks like she just wanted to go to a beach. Then he, I guess, kidnaps the assistant manager? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. He just has him be carried off by robots, and then it cuts to the next day. And then he gets the manager arrested for money laundering. We don't see any actual evidence of this. The FBI just shows up and takes her away. So now Agent Stone is the new owner of the coffee shop. Did he sign any paperwork or anything? You don't just automatically own an establishment because everybody else is gone. But I digress. So that's how Agent Stone became the owner of the Mean Bean. And he only has one employee who is just a yes man. I do appreciate the Mean Bean reference. That's pretty cute. The next story is about Knuckles. He's searching for Sonic, and it doesn't go into detail about why, but I assume it'll be elaborated on in the movie. I'm guessing it has something to do with the whole echidna situation from the first movie. Anyway, Knuckles ends up getting kidnapped by some scavengers and forced into a death match, but Knuckles wins. I wasn't really worried. But then Knuckles decides to hire the scavengers who kidnapped him to help him look for Sonic. Well, that took a strange turn. I guess he just really wants to achieve his goals more than anything. Personally, I would want nothing to do with them, after they learned their lesson, of course. But to each their own, I guess. Something cool about this story is that Vector and Espio from the Chaotix show up in the background. No Charmy though, but we can probably assume he exists. It's just really cool to see them. Next up is Tails, who has a habit of talking to himself. Knuckles' chapter was also narrated, but everything he said was in thought boxes. But Tails is just talking out loud, unless he's recording, but they don't do anything to indicate that he is. Guess he's just chatty. Or very lonely. Anyway, he's also tracking Sonic, and he starts with his childhood home. There's a memorial to Longclaw, which is nice. Tails says no one's been there in a long time, but then understand where these flowers come from. They're still fresh. There's also this cute picture of Sonic when he was a child. I'm assuming he drew this himself. Anyway, Tails goes hopping through a bunch of worlds trying to track Sonic's signal, and we get more video game references, which is definitely a lot of fun. Tails also runs into this lizard guy, who is a reference to the original draft of the Sonic movie, where he was going to be the villain, which is pretty funny too, although I'm definitely glad they went with Robotnik. As he goes, he eventually realizes that he himself is being tracked by something. He tries to shake them, but nothing seems to work. Tails finally gets a signal from some backwater planet called Earth. Thanks for that. And he rushes towards it just as Knuckles and the Raiders come looking for him, and it leaves off on a cliffhanger. The last story follows Robotnik trapped on the Mushroom Planet. He's trying to figure out a way back home so he can get revenge on Sonic, as well as take over the world. So he starts eating the mushrooms to survive, and I was a little concerned about where this might be going, but it turns out that some of the mushrooms are alive, and they start biting him. I'm not really sure why this world was considered a safe world that Sonic might end up having to go to. It doesn't seem very safe. Robotnik ends up lighting them all on fire, and it's pretty intense. And that's pretty much where the story ends, with Robotnik continuing his plan to get back to Earth. Alright then, we didn't exactly learn anything, aside from this planet is not safe and Longclaw probably made a mistake. I'm glad Sonic never got stuck here. I think this comic was pretty successful as a tie-in to the movie. It doesn't feel like homework where you have to read it in order to understand what's going on in the film, but instead helps expand on things. I loved all the references to the wider Sonic universe, especially other characters like the Chaotix. There's definitely a lot of potential here, and I really appreciate that they kept the feel of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I think we all have a lot to look forward to, but that's our opinion. What do you guys think? What do you think of this tie-in comic? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. Before we go, we want to give a shout out to our members: Stutania, Tyrant Carnivore, Adam K, Shiny Orc Boy, The Rabbit Mancer, General Bolivar, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Sandy Martin, Verdant Range, Butcher7 Actual, Dash Hound, JVR, Hussyman42, Nixel, Eric Griffin, Phantom of the Night, Phil C, Taylor Ramirez, Caleb Nelson, Shrike Z, Bandito Bane, X Sona X, and Hunter Rose. Thank you all so much for your support. If you'd like to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, you can leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and that's free. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye guys.